Welcome back. Now, the National Housing Enterprise, NHE, continues to engage communities on its National Informal Settlement Upgrading Program, NISUP. Now, one of the most impactful initiatives is Housing Delivery Strategy, designed to improve the living conditions of Namibians living in informal settlements. Now, this initiative calls on individuals with undeveloped plots across Namibia to apply for housing with NHE. To enlighten us more, we're joined this morning by the Chief Executive Officer of NHE, Gisbertus Mukulu. Good morning, sir. Thank you so much for making time to speak to us.
Good morning, and thanks for having me.
Okay. Now, Mr. Mukulu, before we get into the specifics, let's talk about, why we are here. You have been at the leadership of NHE since 2016. I understand that you are now approaching what we call retirement. What would you say perhaps are the most defining moments of around about a decade that you have been at an NHE?
Thank you very much. Really, my journey at NHE has been one of the, I would say it's a fruitful journey for me, in the sense that since my appointment, following my appointment in 2016, of course, I inherited an institution that, of course, had the financial affairs that were not in order. And of course, the board and the shareholder and myself, we have taken a deliberate decision to make sure that we sanitize the finances of the company in order to reduce the debt. And that has been the biggest highlight of the first 4 years, where I have made sure that at least those debts are reduced to a level where an institution can be self-sustaining and self-reliant. What we have also done is that we manage also at the same time to put in place several policies to make sure that we strengthen the policy environment, and that is very, very critical. At the same time, we had also, of course, the board, myself, and the staff work very, very hard because I found the annual financial statements that were not up to date. And as we speak now, the annual financial statements are up to date. And we have submitted our annual financial statements and, of course, our annual report to the shareholder already within the time frame of 3 months in December last year. So those are the biggest achievements. We have also, at the time when I took over the institution, the compliance, the governance compliance was at 44%. And right now we are at 100% because our annual financial statements are up to date. And of course, we have an integrated strategic business plan. And these are the requirements that is needed for good governance in a particular company. And I'm quite happy with that.
Congratulations to your achievement and the team. Let's talk about the National Informal Settlement Upgrading Program, NISUP. What is this and why is this an important priority for the NHE?
The National Informal Settlement Upgrading Project is, of course, a government program. It was initiated, of course, by the previous minister, the Minister of Urban and Rural Development, Honorable Erastus Utoni, in 2020, of course, in collaboration with NHE, the City of Windhoek, and, of course, Commerce Regional Council. The cardinal principle was then that we need to make sure that our citizens who are residing in informal settlements are provided, of course, with decent shelter. And that is the aim. So what that program does is that the houses will be built where people are. And of course, the municipality being the institution that is tasked with the mandate to provide basic infrastructures like water, sewer, and roads, will make sure that those plots are serviced. And for NHE is to go in and construct the houses. And we have done so across the country. We have started in Windhoek, and we have now moved to Walvis Bay and Swakopmund, and we have also started elsewhere in the country. We have signed a memorandum of understanding with a number of local authorities in Namibia.
In Namibia.
Yes.
Let's perhaps talk about how NISUP would work in practice, especially for those who are living in, who have plots in that are in service informal settlements. How would that work?
Well, what is important is that, first of all, a plot should have all the basic services. And if it doesn't, that means NHE has to enter into partnership with the local authority in order to make sure that those plots are provided with the basic infrastructures. And this collaboration and partnership, we need to strengthen it. And that would then help, because it worked well in Windhoek and is now, of course, being rolled out as we speak in Walvis Bay and Swakopmund. And what we had also done at the same time, we have discovered that the process of housing delivery is quite slow, and therefore we came up with a model of appointing multiple contractor for a particular project. Let's say a project has, let's say, 100 houses. We will put, of course, 10 contractors at the same site.
At the same site.
And it will then mean the speed at which houses are being built will be much faster. And this has been demonstrated in Swakopmund and Walvis Bay in December last year, where houses reached what we call roof level within 2 weeks.
Within 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Indeed, more contractors, more work gets done first.
Exactly, and at the same time, we are also making sure that we are trying to help the contractors to get some income and also to employ Namibians so that they can earn an income during the period of the project.
For the project. Mr. Mukulu, perhaps those ones who own plots in unserviced informal settlements, can they also participate in this process?
Yes, they can. They can. What we normally do, if an area is not serviced, we enter into a partnership with the local authorities to provide those basic infrastructures. If the local authorities are unable to do so, NHE normally goes an extra mile to also provide those basic services, although it's not the mandate of NHE. This is the mandate of the local authorities, but we have done so in other local authorities where we have entered into a memorandum of understanding, and we provide those basic services, and we build the houses for those that are residing in the informal settlement. These houses are quite basic, and of course, they do not have all the finishes. Now, it's up to the client or to the beneficiaries to expand that house. I must emphasize here that the client who benefited, particularly in Windhoek, if you go to those houses now, they are expanded, they are mansions. It would then mean a person would want a basic, and then, of course, as the income is improving over time, of course, that person will then be able to expand. And that is what is important.
That's important, yes. Now, given that, the construction and servicing costs continues to rise in Namibia and housing is becoming more expensive, let's talk about how you ensure that homes delivered under this national informal settlement program, upgrading program, remains affordable. And perhaps while you're at it, in comparison to the costs that are within the market, how affordable are NHE houses?
Our houses are affordable in the sense that we as NHE, we came up with a model of making sure that, if I could go to the price, of course, a basic structure is about 72,000. A one-bedroom is about 120, 130. A two-bedroom is close to 200, and of course a three-bedroom is over 200,000. Now, what we did is that we decided to make sure that when we are building that house, we are confining ourselves to the basic necessity. And we would not go to an extent of putting any luxury in that house. It's up to the beneficiaries to make sure that at least the luxuries are added on after the house is completed. And that is the only way we can make those houses, affordable. And that model is a model that has been created by NHE. Of course, my staff at technical department have come up with that specific idea, which was embraced by the board and by the staff, and of course by the shareholder.
Okay. Are there specific informal settlements who qualify for this program, and how eligible residents can access these opportunities under this partnership?
Yes, the citizens, of course, within Namibia, in all local authorities, can participate, particularly those in informal settlement. There are certain criteria that have to be, of course, adhered to, like, for example, the certified copy, the marriage certificate, the bank statements, and of course the proof of ownership of the land, and so on and so forth. Maybe just to highlight, the government had made a decision that those houses that are built under informal settlements are interest-free. And therefore, in that regard, the beneficiary will only pay the capital. So the interest is waived, and this is, of course, as per the decision of the central government. The clients will have to approach our various branches across the country. We have one in the south in Keetmans, one in Walvis Bay, one in Oshakati, one in Rundu, and one, of course, in Windhoek in Katutura. Of course, we have a team within the Department of Credit and also sales that are assessing the clients. Our accessibility criteria are quite lenient compared to the commercial bank, because we are an entity of the government and we are trying to assist as many citizens as possible. So therefore, we assess the clients based on their affordability, but our criteria are not as strict as those of the conventional financial institutions.
Indeed, after all, you are a state entity.
Of course.
Yes. Let's talk about how, from an institutional capacity perspective, how NHE is positioned to deliver on the housing mandate. And have you achieved those targets?
What we had achieved is what we can possibly do within the limited resources we have available. I want to really inform the public that NHE, of course, can only be able to build houses if there is land available. And of course, the lack of serviced land, which of course the custodians of the local authorities, NHE would only do so once we have acquired land from the local authority serviced. If it's not serviced, that means NHE will have to enter the mandate of servicing those houses. Nonetheless, within the limited resources that we had available, we had built over, of course, 1,600, 1,700 within the limited resources that we have. Of course, within the strategic plan that we have just compiled, we came up with a specific strategic objective, that is to raise fund for capital projects. We had, of course, engaged financial institutions, and for the information of the public, there are many financial institutions that are now approaching us because our annual financial statements are now in order and we are up to date. And therefore, we had an engagement with the DBN as well as DBSA in South Africa, and we are at an advanced stage. And once, of course, that finances are secured, we are able to roll out the project as fast as possible, of course, with the land that we have available, whether it's serviced or unserviced. So that means that there will be two components. We will have a project for servicing and also for constructing houses. So that means I'm expecting the NHE, of course, to construct houses at the faster speed.
Now, so we're beginning to wrap up our conversation this morning. We know that you talked about the recently launched integrated strategic plan that is 24-25, ending in 28-29. This strategic plan, how does it align with this informal settlement upgrading and the overall objectives of NHE? What do you hope to achieve by the time that this strategic reporting time frame has ended?
The strategic plan that was just launched, of course, last year, and of course the AGM that we had also had, of course, in March last year, our strategic plan had made informal settlement upgrading project as a priority, and that ties in with the government objective of providing housing and, of course, shelter to all. So we are, of course, given a target to build 2,000 houses and also to make sure that we service 2,000 plots. What we did is that there's a first step last year, and of course after getting that specific directive, is that my team went out to the local authorities to of course speak to the local authorities and start acquiring land for informal settlement in order to make sure that we meet the target of the 2,000 for servicing and also the 2,000 for the constructions of the houses. So that means our strategic plan also has a component of informal settlement upgrading project as a priority area, and this is a strategic objective that NHE, of course, is expected to achieve.
It's expected
and once we succeed in making sure that we acquire the necessary funding, of course, we will be able to move at a faster pace.
Okay. Now, unfortunately, we're running out of time, but what is your message to Namibians about this national informal settlement upgrading programs? Why should they take part? Where should they go to? Why should they be interested in seeing this initiative of NHE?
Yeah, well, this is a flagship program for the government and of course, by extension, NHE. And this is the initiative that would then help, of course, quite a number of people that are living in informal settlement. And therefore, I urge all the Namibians to register themselves at our various offices, as I had highlighted earlier, and provide the necessary documents as required so that they can participate in this particular program. It is a very, very good program because it assists all the beneficiaries in the various categories, especially, for example, petrol jokers, kapana sellers, and so on. These are the clients who are supposed to benefit in this program. So it's really a good program, and I urge everyone to participate, particularly those in the informal settlements, those who own plots. NHE is ready to assist them in providing them with a house.
Well, Mr. Gisbertus, Mukulu, thank you so much for making time to speak to us, and we wish you all the best with you and a team to rolling out this project. May it be a success.
Thank you.